Okay, so this question is interesting. An experiment consists of tossing a penny, a nickel, and a dime. You might have a, quarter, dime, and a nickel, whatever, three coins. How many elements are there in the sample space? Well, what I'm going to suggest is let's list them out. So, so first off, we have, for me, I have the penny. And then next I have the nickel. And then last I have the dime, right? Okay, so I could get a heads on the penny, a heads on the nickel, and a heads on the dime. That's like one thing that can happen, right? Or I could get a head, and a tail. That's a second thing that can happen. Do you see what's happening here? Or you could get a head, and this, and now we could do this with tail, head, tail. I don't know if I'm confusing you. So I did head with head, tail, and I did tail, tail with head, tail. And now I can repeat all of those starting with tail. Whoops, wrong color. Tail, 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 tail. And just repeat everything I just did, which is what? Head, tail, tail. And just repeat this, head, tail, tail. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different things that can happen when you flip those 3 coins. Now, what might work better for you? I mean, that's okay what I just did there. But I've seen over the years that, and I like it better too, is a tree. Let me show you. Let me show you with the tree. So you do the first coin flip for the penny. This is the penny right here. I'm going to do the same thing another way. The penny's heads or tails. And then you do the nickel next. And the nickel, after getting heads on the penny, you could get heads or tails on the dime. Or sorry, the nickel. This is the nickel. Right? And then after the nickel, you could get heads or tails on the penny or dime, whatever the third one is, dime. Okay. Heads, tails, heads, tails, heads, tails, heads, or tails. Okay. And so putting all that together, we go, let me just go like equals, equals. All right. So so then I can just write out all the possibilities. These are all starting with a head. These are all starting with a tail. These are all followed by head, tail, head, tail, and these end with head, tail, head, tail, head, tail, head.
Wait, Mr. Heron, is this a whole different section part, or you're teaching us how we did it on the first one, right? It's just a different method?
Yeah, so you could either do it this way, or you could do it this way with the tree. So I'm saying either way. Some people like the tree better because it shows the branching of life. So think about flipping the penny, flipping the nickel, and I forgot to write dime up there, didn't I? And flipping the dime. And then over here, over this is the result. All three, the result, right? So you're going to flip the penny, you're going to get a head or a tail. And then after that, it's like the branches of life. Like you make choices in life, right? I'm going to go to college. I'm not going to go to college. I'm going to major in this or major in that. And your life, begins to take shape as you make choices. That's kind of like what's happening with the pennies, nickels, and dimes. You flip the penny, you get a heads, or maybe you get a tail. After flipping and getting a head, then you flip the nickel, you get a heads, or you get a tail. Then you flip the dime, maybe you got a head, maybe you got a tail. The different things that can happen. So you get head, or head, tail, or etc. Shows all the different, I'm just showing all the different things that can happen. How many elements are there in this? In other words, how many different things can happen? 8, right? How many different outcomes are possible? How many different things can happen? 8 different things. These 8 right here, or these 8 right here, same thing, either place. You can either make this kind of chart, or you can make the tail. There's no need to make both. I'm not saying you should make both. I'm just showing you both. A lot of people prefer the tree. I like the tree better. It just kind of shows the branching more easily and naturally, I think. And you don't have to write in all these results if you don't want to. So there's 8 different things that can happen when you flip these 3 coins. Now, let A be the event that there is at least one head and at least one tail. Okay, so let's go circle all the ones that have at least one head and at least one tail. Okay, well, this has certainly got at least, oh, no, it's got at least one head, but it doesn't have at least one tail. Are we clear on what at least one means? One or more head. One or more tail, right? At least one means at the least, at the lowest one, maybe more. So at least one head means one or more heads, at least one tail means one or more tails. So and it says and, so you got to do both. So I'm not going to take this one, but I will take this one. Why? Because he has at least one head and at least one tail. This one, this one, this one, this one. All these guys have at least, and not the bottom one, huh? Because that's just pure tails. He doesn't have at least one head. And the top one up here, I crossed him out because he doesn't have any tails. So how many is that? What is that? 6 out of 8. And I don't know if they want a decimal or fraction there. If they want you to, it's 0.75 if they want the decimal, or 6/8 if they want the fraction, or if they want you to reduce the fraction, it's 3/4. You know, if you divide top and bottom by 2, any of those versions are right and true and good. 3/4, 6/8, 0.75, they're all correct. You see how I found that? I circled all the ones out of the 8 different things that can happen. I circled all the ones that have at least one head and at least one tail. Now, there's other versions of this question, aren't there? Let me look at some of the other versions.
Mr.
Question?
It says two for mine is a two tails and I got 1/2. 4 out of 8.
Does it say 2 tails or at least 2 tails?
It says that there is at least 2 tails. Oh, does that switch it then?
Yeah. So remember, at least matters. At least is an important word that changes life and answers. So yeah. So if they say, yeah, let me go back and do that one. So yeah, what if they said, I'll do that one now. What if they said at least 2 tails? Yeah, that's one of the other versions I noticed that's out there. At least 2 tails. So what does that mean? 2 or more tails. Remember, at least means at the lowest. At the lowest, at minimum, 2 tails, maybe more. So 2 or more tails. So which are the ones that have 2 or more tails? This one, this one, this one, and that one. See how those 4 have 2 or more tails? So it would be 4
out of 8.
Reduces to be a half, or if they want a decimal, 0.5.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I had got the first time. Okay. And then, but Darren, for the top one, well, real quick, how did you get the 8? I think I got lost on that one.
Yeah,
how did you get the 8?
There's 8 different things that can happen.
Oh, okay. So that's going to be the same for everybody's answer.
Right.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's correct. So what other versions are there out there? It says at least 2 heads, or at least 1 head and at least 1 tail, which I already did that one. Yeah. So at least 2 heads. If they said at least 2 heads, you would just circle the ones that have 2 heads or more. So it'd be, and it'd be those 4. It'd also be 4 out of 8. 4 out of 8 have 2 or more heads, at least 2 heads. in the same way. So there we go. So what's important then is listing out the possibilities, right? And the main way to do that is with that tree. So when they do 3 coins, I did the branching of the tree, right? Heads and tails for the penny, heads and tails for the nickel, heads and tails for the dime. That resulted in 8 different possible things that can happen. I listed them all out, and then we were able to answer the questions. There we go.